listeners.
This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Transformation with Tara Sutphen. Tara Sutphen is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives and Soul Agreements. 3 audio CD series, metaphysical meditations, sourcing series, and sleep programming. Tara has also collaborated with Emmy Award-winning Shane Stanley and Marla Maples on numerous DVDs. Tara Sutphen is a master in the psychic sciences. If you'd like to find out more about Tara's work, upcoming seminars, and meditations to help you fulfill your dreams, visit her website at tarasutphen.com.
Good morning, and welcome to Transformations with Tara Sutphen. I am Jason McKean. I am subbing for Tara, who is in Australia. Exotic, sunny, wonderful Australia. She's doing an ancient spiritual teachings seminar with a shaman, an Aboriginal shaman down there, and it's April 8th through 9th. If anyone is down in Australia and wants to go there, if anyone wants to buy a plane ticket really quick and fly down to Byron Bay, then it's the April 8th and 9th, and she's doing the workshop with Yununde Wiwiwadi, a shaman, and it's going to be a really fantastic weekend. If any questions towards that, write an email, send an email to jules.bonny, that's jules.bonny at iCloud.com, jules.bonny@icloud.com. So today, I have a very special guest, and his name is David Hamilton Nichols, and David is a spiritual teacher, an author, a healer. His website is divineblaze.com. You can go check it out while we're talking. And David, good morning.
Good morning, Jason. Thank you very much for having me on today. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for joining us at such an early time, California-wise, 9 a.m. It's a little early, don't you think, to be talking about kind of the spiritual journey for everyone?
Early? What's time anyway?
That's the perfect spiritual answer. Time, space, it's all relative. So David, tell me, you're based out of where?
I am in Ventura County, California.
Uh-huh. And yet you're able to do your work throughout the world through the electronic medium through Skype. What exactly do you do, David?
Well, often I actually do more live events, although I'm doing Skype here and in other cases. But I've done a number of live events throughout much of California and in Kauai.
In Kauai, what type of live events? What is the nature of the live events?
In addition to just doing ordinary public speaking, often my events are rather unique. I will go into an altered state, and I'll bring through information and energy to the group.
What type of information comes out?
It's mainly spiritual teachings. You might liken it to a lot of the wisdom teachings that have been throughout the ages. Some things never die.
Yeah, that is for certain. You had just recently been at the Conscious Life Expo. Is that correct in Los Angeles?
Yes, I did a presentation there.
Yeah, it was like your first time at that expo, or had you done it in years previous?
Actually, that was my first time presenting at that particular expo. Yes.
How'd you like it?
I enjoyed very much, and it's always good to meet people and enjoy the ambiance.
The energy of the people is very, very high at the expos. I've experienced them not directly. I haven't done workshops there, but through my sister's work, my sister Tara Sutphen, whose show this is, she would do meditations and like human potential type workshops. Yeah. So do you in your workshop, do you break it down to a wisdom teaching, and then do you do a meditation or some kind of altered state work with the group?
A combination thereof, and I'd like to say I have not yet had the pleasure of meeting Tara, but it sounds like from what you were just saying that we might be a little similar in some ways. Based on what you're saying, I don't know her well enough to say beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
What I often do at these sorts of presentations, I will do an energy transmission actually, and that would be part of a meditation perhaps. Actually, that's what we'll be doing at one point in our talk today.
Beautiful. Yes, I understand that that you have a meditation, like a short meditation prepared.
Yeah, roughly 15 minutes. Yes.
Beautiful. I look forward to that. And it's an energy transmission. What I noticed on your website, you talk about light and energy transmission. What's behind that?
Well, as you are aware, we're all connected to that infinite source of energy. What I do is I tap in, I step aside and open up for more energy than we might often experience. It's always around us, but basically I tap into that and transmit it. The best way to really describe it is for someone to experience it. Often people will report some interesting phenomena. And ironically, today would be the first time I've tried it on the air, which is in a way an experiment. So everyone will at least get a meditation out of it.
Yes. I'm totally up for that. You know, as far as what my work involves is putting people into the present, and it's okay to experiment, right? It's okay to be in that power of the moment and not just try to control every aspect of things. It's like when one surrenders to, you know, that power.
Did you say control every aspect, Jason? Good luck controlling anything.
Yeah, no, I have an issue with that word, with control, because, you know, it's like the people that come to see me as a tarot reader, you know, it's like they're looking to kind of control their way forward, or if there's a relationship that they're have questions about, you know, they're looking to, you know, find their own power spot in there to see if you know, they can control a person who is you know, maybe not fully on board with them in the relationship. And I think it's tricky. I mean, I just did a show yesterday about that aspect of being a participant in our life, right? Where we play our part, but we also surrender to those higher forces, you know, above and below us as well. That, I'm sorry?
But of course, yes, we do have, it's basically like a dance. If you're in a river or a flow, it does not mean that you can't use an oar or a rudder to help direct that. However, if you try to paddle upstream, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yes. Yes. So when you're gathering light energy that is around you to be able to use, do you use it for? I guess my question is, like, what exactly do you use it for? Do you use it for healing purposes? Do you use it for maybe a catalyst for someone to draw upon to make changes in their life, significant changes? How do you use that?
First off, as you're well aware, none of us can claim to be a healer, obviously for medical reasons, the AMA. And second, and most importantly, is actually that God or the divine itself is the healer, that and the part of that which is in the individual as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
So, but people have claimed that. I wouldn't personally, but people do claim that. And of course, also, yes, I do use it to help facilitate change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for someone who's going through a significant either crisis, it might be kind of an area where it's like very intense, or they're looking for deeper meaning in their own day-to-day life. It's like the spiritual teaching, a spiritual teaching that can, touch them in such a way that resonates with them. This is what we kind of seek to do as facilitators of the spiritual. And is there a process that you go through? I mean, when did you realize that you had these gifts, or this is how you were wired to do this kind of work?
Oh my, that is a long story.
Hey, we have time.
Well, if you want to go way back to when I was a young child, I had a certain degree of prescience. I would know things about people I didn't have a reason to know. My mom was okay with this, but she was very careful to say that I should be careful where I say things and what I say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in my teens, I'd have some precognitive dreams. If you want to fast forward from there, I did my thing as most teenagers do and went about my merry way and didn't do much with it for quite a while.
Sure.
Then down the line, fast forward, my mom for Mother's Day asked my dad and me if we would come with her to a spiritual organization. She was very insistent. She said, "You don't have to buy me anything for Mother's Day. Just come with me." And my dad and I, our family has been in business for generations, so we know a deal when we see it. We're thinking, okay, we don't have to buy her anything. We're going to be spending the day with her anyway. That's a no-brainer. We're going to do it. So we know a deal when we see it.
Little did you know, though, that it would impact you significantly.
Yes, I got the better end of the bargain.
Yeah. So what happened at that meeting?
Well, again, this is in a nutshell. We're condensing a long period of time. But the minister of that organization over this long period of time did read me and said that I'd be, in her words, a channel. And I didn't know what she meant by the word channel other than a ditch in the ground or a TV station.
Yeah.
But over time, I did begin to experiment with that. It was said that it would begin with writing first. I'd had a little bit of experience with some meditation. I'd taken a class in Kabbalah years prior, and there had been a bit of meditation in there, but after that, I did not do much with it. Mm-hmm. So I decided I'd start doing some. One day, I sat down at the computer so that I could give it a try. I have terrible handwriting, and my laziness, or I should say efficiency factor, is that I don't like to transcribe if it did work. So just in case, I did it at a computer to begin with. I meditated and entered an altered state and wrote And it was interesting. Stuff did come through. Over time, the altered states became easier and easier and clearer as well. One
Yes.
day, my mom and I happened to be around the kitchen table. I don't know where my dad was at that moment, but my mom and I were around the kitchen table, and we were discussing some of what was written. We weren't quite following the material. I was standing up. She was seated at the table, and I said something. She thought, that's really good. I'd better write that down so I don't forget it.
Hmm.
Well, she did, and I said some more, and she thought, that's not David anymore. And I obviously had worked enough with the energies to know that, okay, this is what's happening. I had a working relationship and was okay with it and thought, okay, I'm going to flow with this. I kind of got a energetic tap on the shoulder, if you will. So
Hmm.
here I'm talking, I sort of go into that altered state, just grabbing the chair just to make sure I keep grounded. And that was that. That was the first time I did the work orally as well as just in writing. Now, I should make a careful note here. As I have worked with those energies and had for a long time, I knew the boundaries and I chose to go with it. And I did sort of, if you will, get an apology later so that I could know that this was a way I could work. It was just handy to be tapped on the shoulder.
Wow. That's quite the discovery. I like that it's in bits and pieces too, as far as, sometimes our gifts are not revealed to us all at once, like
Yeah,
in the flash of, lightning or so.
that is
And
exactly so. You might hear people say they're enlightened, and I won't speak to any specific case, but
yeah,
you've probably observed, excuse me, you've probably observed people claiming enlightenment, and they might have had an illuminating experience, no doubt. However, the question is, does that stick? Does that stay? There may be those cases where in an instant it happens, but often that isn't the case. Often it is a gradual process of illumination,
hmm,
an organic process, if you choose to phrase it that way.
yeah, yeah. I would definitely use that term. Like, in that organic aspect of it, it's something that is a natural process. It's a natural arc as far as, where we are kind of meant to go, where we're kind of encoded to go, within our own spiritual DNA, our own like physical DNA. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like the flowering of the spring. We look at a flower opening up. It doesn't open at one moment. If you were to pull it open, you'd destroy it. You'd pull the petals off it and it would lose its beauty.
hmm, hmm. How is the area of Ventura for flowers right now? It's like me and my wife, we've been going up to various places because in the springtime and because of the heavy rains, it's like the poppies are out everywhere. If you go to the northern part of Malibu, there's really beautiful flowers in the hills. How about Ventura?
It is lovely. Fortunately, we have had rain after a period of drought here.
Hmm.
Right here, right now, actually, generally this time of year, I'll have blossoms on the ornamental pear tree outside my window. And actually, just before you called, I was hearing the birds singing. So yes, it is very lovely.
Beautiful. I mean, that's, puts one in kind of the right meditative state to be that close to
Indeed.
nature. It's important, environmentally, where we place ourselves. If, if we're like, I live by the ocean, and for me, it's like nothing beats the ocean as far as just that overwhelming sense of calm, of peace. Unless there's a storm going, and then it's like the opposite.
Yeah, and obviously our lives now and then have those occasional storms, and after that storm, there's a stillness, and the flowers do bloom, since we seem to be on flower metaphors here. But
Yeah.
yes, I will also say the same unfoldment that happens in our spiritual journeys. It has also happened in my work too. When I first started doing events, actually, it was very different than what I do now. It changed actually dramatically over the course of time.
Hmm.
I would have to say it has evolved more and more into integrating energy into those events.
How would you describe that process?
Um, do you mean in the sense of how it evolved or in the sense of the energy that is involved in a specific event itself?
Well, as far as um, when one starts, doing their thing out in the world, uh, I mean, I'm a big believer that one begins at the beginning. That if you look to make it a perfect experience, then you're cheating yourself, you're robbing yourself of the possibility of just going out there and just doing the work. And um, I guess for that essence of it is always energetic when a person goes out and works with others. There's what
Touche.
you bring to it, there's what they bring to it, and uh, it's just life, right? As far as there's a lot of things, a lot of wheels in motion there, and so with how it's changed for you, is the are you do you feel that you're more in sync with others energetically, or is it a deepening? How would you describe it?
I like two of the things you said very much, and of course the rest is good too, but two of these things you just mentioned do pop into mind for this discussion.
Hmm.
One would be perfection. If you go out seeking perfection, as in final form, good luck.
Yeah.
However, where we are now, that's the perfect moment. It does not mean that it cannot change or
Yeah.
improve or whatever term you choose to use for that. It does mean, though, perfect for where we are. A way to put it is perfection in progress. Where you are right now could be perfect for now, but tomorrow, that's a different perfection.
Hmm. Hmm.
You could use the analogy of a little child. A little child is crawling around on the floor, laughing and not speaking. And that's perfect in that place of development. That is what you would expect. Go
Hmm.
10 years later, you expect a different kind of development. It's a
Yes.
matter of process. It's a matter of unfoldment. And in that process, you're at that perfect place to come up with that moment's perfection.
Yes.
That
Yes.
would be the first thing that you mentioned. The second thing you mentioned, deepening, is a good word. In our pursuit of presence, it actually isn't a pursuit. That's a poor choice of words, but we often make it a pursuit. In our pursuit of presence, we're called to a deepening. The deeper we go, the higher we can go. It's like a tree. You can only grow as high as you'll grow deep.
Hmm. Hmm.
And if we grow deep, we can grow very tall. We can reach toward that light, but we also need to be rooted in the earth. That verticality of our being is what allows us to expand and reach into greater things and embrace greater things.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Um, David, are you up to experimenting as far as
Oh,
with your meditation?
the question is, are you, and is everybody in the audience?
Well,
Preferably, don't listen to this while driving. Don't meditate along.
yeah, it's like turn it down or pull over there off to the side of the road if you can. But
Yeah. And if you choose not to listen for a while, we'll be about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will let you take the floor then, and just cue me when you are done, and
Yes,
I will be quiet.
I will. Just a second. Let me clear my throat because there's dust in here that got stirred up earlier.
That's the other part of spring, right? When there's like this new energy, pollen, allergies, all these things that come in.
And spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning. There you go.
Anyway, this, as I said, you'll at least experience a meditation out of this, into which I will integrate that energy transmission. So at the least a meditation, and you'll probably feel some interesting stuff too, as you might in a room when I do this in a hall. So it'll be interesting, and I look forward to any feedback as to what you, the audience, has experienced. And my contact info will be at the end here. So just sit back and relax a moment while I enter a little bit of an altered state here.
All right. Just be sure to let me know when you're done there.
And, yes,
and I will be quiet.
It's okay. Guided enough that you'll know for certain.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you.
All right. Just a moment and just sit back and relax. Just be here now, this moment. Open to the beauty that you are. Relax with your feet on the floor, if that is comfortable, and your hands up and open in your lap. Just sitting still, upright as comfortable, and closing your eyes. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Another deep breath in and let it out. Releasing everything. Come into the stillness and let your body relax. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Open to the energy in your body, fully present. Now, let the light flow down from above, the golden light of love flowing down through you, into you. Open as the light flows down into your head, into your neck, down through your upper chest, into your chest and back, solar plexus, filling you, flowing into you. Let that light fill you, flowing into your abdomen, your loins, down your legs, through your feet into the earth. Take a deep breath in, a full breath, and let it out. And open to the energy, and open. Let a light rise from the earth, the center of the earth, into the base of your spine. Let that light, that energy collect at the base of your spine, intensifying. Breathe into the base of your spine and hold your breath at that root. Hold it as long as you comfortably can and let the energy grow. And when you need to, breathe out to the blast. Be present with that energy. And bring that energy up your spine, up into your abdomen. And focus on it there, letting it grow of its own accord. Breathe deeply into it as before and hold that breath, letting it grow. Hold it, aware of the burning, turning light and energy. And when you must, breathe out. Aware, totally present with that energy as it rises vertebra by vertebra up into your solar plexus area. Now, again, breathe in deeply, breathe into that solar plexus and hold it. Let it intensify. The fiery, burning, turning, glowing, growing ball of light. And breathe out. Aware, present, at peace in the energy. Now let that light rise, that energy rise up into the heart. Let it fill your heart and your higher heart with light, with pure energy, with love, with divine radiance, the radiance that you are. And gently embrace your heart with your love. Breathe in deeply into that heart of hearts. Breathe in. Hold that as the fire of love burns bright within you. Hold it as long as you comfortably can, and then perhaps a little more. And let it out. Perhaps a pulsing presence in your heart abides. And let that rise into your throat, bathing your throat in energy and light. Breathe into your throat and hold it. Your presence at your throat, experiencing the energy, and let it out. Letting it rise into the base of your skull, the base of your skull, bright with the light, and filling your head. Let that light increase and fill the cavity, the center of your head, and breathe into your head now. And hold it. And let it out. Now, once more at the top of your crown, only this time when you hold it, prepare to let that energy fountain forth around you. Now, breathe in deeply up your spine. Breathe in up to your crown. Holding that energy, letting it intensify with fiery, glowing, growing light. Holding it as long as you comfortably can, and now let it out. and let the energy fountain forth around you as it flows up through you naturally. And let its sparkles bathe you. And bring that energy up, allowing it to flow, a column of light, a pillar of fire from the center of the earth, higher and higher. And let those sparkles fall into the earth as the fountain begins to fade, flowing back down through you. Let a clear, transparent light, a pure light of clarity, flow down through you, a cool light, down into your crown, bathing your crown with coolness flowing down into the center of your head. Down, that cool, transparent light of love flows down into the base of your skull, into your throat, down into your chest, your high heart and heart, filling that center with clarity, transparency, and peace. Let it flow down into your solar plexus, bathing you in a waterfall of presence, into your abdomen, into your root, filling you with peace and calm. As that light, that energy in its cool transparency and clarity comes to a single point of stillness at the base of your spine. And any excess energy flows out into the center of the earth. And that energy, that spark, becomes an ember, a single point to rest there until it may be called forth again in a safe and appropriate manner. And take a breath in and let it out. Now, prepare to receive energy. You may hear some snapping and popping during this. Be open to whatever you experience. And just breathe. And meditate in the silence as you receive. Let the energy increase. And let that light fill you and overflow you. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let that light, that energy increase. Let that light, which never shall cease, embrace you and enfold you as you. Receive it more fully, receive it. Be that light. Be that light. Be the light. Be the light. And now integrate that light. Integrate that light with a deep breath in. Breathe in and breathe out. In again and out again. Be here now. Begin to come back. Be here now. Come into your body fully present. Be here now. Come back. Come back. Be present. Breathe in deeply and breathe out fully. Feel your body. Be in your body. Here now. This is the present. This is the gift. This is the gift that you give to the world. Your presence. Come back. If you must, shake your arms out a little and your legs out a little and slap your thighs. But come back. Are we all present now? Thank you.
Thank you, David. My guest today, David Hamilton Nichols, and his website, divineblaze.com. Wow.
Yes.
There was that line, this is the gift that you give to the world is your presence, right? Being in the present moment.
Yes, I hadn't really thought of that. That was just a line that came out of the blue.
It's a channeled line, right? As far as everything that comes out of the blue, it has significance.
Yes, like a bolt out of the blue.
Do you ever go back like over what you've written and say, where did that come from? That is not out of, just something that I every day or, just saw. It's like, well, where did that come from?
Yes, definitely. And ironically, I believe we all do that. We may be less aware to whatever degree we do it. Who knows? But that is available. It's all around us. We pull things out of thin air all the time if we're open to that magic. If we're open to it, there's that spaciousness to receive it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you see that as a layer of spirit, or like if you were to tell like a novice, like someone who's just kind of getting into the world of spirituality, how would you describe kind of where that either a layer of spirituality is, or do you see it as something that's separate from us that we tap into, or again, how would you describe it?
I would say neither nor and both and. Basically, yes, we have that in us, and yes, it's also outside of us. If you want to use the old theological terms, you could say that the divine, whatever term you choose to use, I'm not attached to that, but the infinite light is not only immanent, but it's also transcendent. It's inside of us and outside of us. It's just which side of the coin do you want to see? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, it is available to us. Obviously, if anyone's ever experienced a moment of sublime majesty, they'll likely say that there is something greater out there. And yet we also experience this even in the stillness and the silence within ourselves. Mm-hmm. So I would say, yes, there are layers, but if you want to use the old metaphor of the onion, you can peel layer after layer after layer. Inside it, there's nothing at the central core.
Yeah, and do you make a distinction between spirituality and that which is religious?
Yes, I would say that you can have spirituality in religion, but religion itself isn't necessarily spirituality. I would say that there are valid spiritual paths that are religions. If one is walking that as a framework for one's spiritual path, that can be very beneficial. However, there's also the potential downside of becoming trapped in dogma and in creed. And I will add this note. If you look at much of the New Age community or the quote-unquote spiritual community, there's a certain irony. Those who have fled from dogma tend to sometimes be dogmatic in their own right. They may have fled from Judeo-Christianity or some other religious tradition, but they end up sometimes dogmatic. And that's understandably a natural reaction. We tend to swing from one side of the pendulum to the other. However, it is important to note that acceptance involves accepting everything. It does not mean that we can't stand up for what we need to stand up for, but it does mean also not judging another path.
Yeah, I always encourage someone to explore their spirituality and not necessarily see, sometimes they see religion as like spirituality, and that can be a stumbling block.
Yes.
And I think there is a language of spirituality that can be all encompassing. It can, not narrow one's search down.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's like when one goes to, describe God, if one says God is all things, that encompasses quite a bit.
You predicate, if you say I am and you start saying I am this or I am that, you've already put a predicate on the divine.
Yes. Yes.
And that is not necessarily a good idea, although we can experience different aspects of that infinite light. It's not necessarily the best idea to become attached to one aspect. And yes, it's natural. It's a part of the journey at times. But spirituality can be outside of religion, and it can also be inside religion.
So on your website, David, you have a space for writings that you have. Do you have books? Do you have audio programs that you're planning on bringing out?
That's a very good question. Thanks for asking that, Jason. I can technically say I am an author because once years ago I had a poem published in an anthology. So therefore I can technically say I'm an author rather than just a writer. Yeah. And yes, I am currently in process of writing a book and have some other projects going. I am, yes, looking to put out some other products, video, audio, that can help transmit teachings to the world that will help us all with our own growth. That is, yes, very important. I do actually, speaking of, since you seem to be asking me to do a shameless plug here.
Absolutely. Shameless. There's no shame in talking about your work in the world.
Yes. I do look forward to doing events. If anyone in the audience cares to host a live event at your center or somewhere else, and you can get a group together, it would be my pleasure to present to you. And it would be also my pleasure, basically, to make sure that everyone receives this work. We all have our work in the world, and there are various things. Some may resonate more with one than another, but I truly want to see people come through this.
Yes.
And I would say you can also sign up to my email list on my website. It will tell you about events that are upcoming, and eventually there will be other things in there as well. For example, when I do come out with a book and when I do come out with some seminars that are available online. So I would ask, if you're interested, please go to the website and sign up to the email list. And if you have any feedback as to what you experienced during that meditation energy transmission, there's a comment form on that site, and my phone number is on there as well. It's 805-701-4744. It's divineblaze.com, DIVINEBLAZE, as in godly fire. And you wouldn't believe how many people misspell divine. It's DI. Perhaps we've also forgotten how to access the divine inside of us, just like we forget sometimes how to spell divine.
I hear that. Thank you, David. Thank you so much for coming on Transformations today. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed your meditation. I didn't want to get fully immersed because I know I had to wake up and kind of talk to you afterwards. But I'm curious too. It's like on your Facebook, on my Facebook. I hope that people are able to relate their experience. So
my Facebook is David.H.Nichols. That's DAVID.H.NICHOLS. That's my Facebook username. So anyway, it really has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Jason. And thank you so much to everyone who took the time to listen to this. I wish you the best. I wish you the true peace and presence of the divine, the infinite light in your life. May you receive that love in all its fullness and express that to your fellow beings.
Thank you. Beautiful. And thank you for everyone listening to Transformations with Tara Sutphen. I have been your host today, Jason McKean at jasondmckean.com, and Tara will be back next week. Many blessings.
Thank you for sharing your time with Tara Sutphen. Find out more about Tara's work, upcoming seminars, and meditations to help you fulfill your dreams by visiting her website at tarasutphen.com.